Good morning to all. My name is Isabel Saraiva, and I would like to start to thank you for your presence in here. Today, I'll be presenting my dissertation titled Operational Risk Management in a Shared Service Center and a Business Intelligence Dashboard. I will start with a small introduction. Okay, now it's working. Passing through the concepts of shared service center and operational risk. After that, I will present the company in study, the research methodology, the results and the solutions, and in the end, the conclusions, the limitations, and also the future work. A shared service center is very important in the operations of various organizations, offering services like the source to settle, which manages the supplier relations since the acquisition of goods till the payment. The objective of this project was to analyze and improve the department's operational risk and improve their efficiency. A shared service center consists in bringing together various business units and departments of a given company in a single location, with the objective of reducing costs, improving the efficiency, and standardize them. Although there is still no concrete definition about shared service center, we can find similarities in all of the concepts, such as the cost reduction and increasing the quality of the service provided. For instance, Schulman highlights the cost reduction and the quality of the services, while Quinn focuses on eliminating the duplicate functions. Bergeron's definition combines both Schulman's and Quinn's ideas. The definition of risk will always depend on the context in which it is inserted and the purpose for which we want to formulate this concept. The Basel Committee defines operational risk as the risk of financial loss caused by ineffective or faulty internal processes, personnel, systems, or external factors. So it is necessary to specify which risks make up the operational risks. The process risks that are related with failures in the company's operating procedures, the people risks that are related with human errors, the risks of the system that includes all type of the system failures, and the external ones that are related to the risks associated with losses caused by actions of the third parties like the social economic factors. Before passing to the research questions, I believe that it is important to give some context about the company in study. This company born from a split with another company in the same area, and the shared service center officially started their operations in June of 2022. This company was able to fully migrate all the entities to the center in only 2 years, and these migrations happened in 4 different moments, 3 of them in 2023 and the last one in April of 2024. To these migrations, we have a name that is the deployment. That is the term used to define the implementation of processes, systems, and also data. It is important to mention that for this project, we will only analyze the European entities that are in total 69 that were migrated between all the different deployments. To give an answer to the research questions and find the best solutions, we needed to understand how the operational errors can directly impact the financial risk and identify the main operational errors in the S2S department. With this in mind, we have the following research questions. What are the main operational errors in the S2S department? How the financial risk can be directly impacted by the operational errors? How the technologies used impact the department and its operations? What strategy does the department need to adopt to mitigate this operational risk? And in the end, how can the company or the managers promote the awareness of operational risks and implement training to reduce them? To answer these questions and provide a possible solution to reduce the operational risk, the methodology used was a root cause analysis to identify the main operational errors of this department. The main risks in the S2S department are divided in 3: the human errors, the supplier risks, and the technology used. The human errors are related with the numbers of documents that were posted with errors that needed to be corrected in the future. In the supplier risks, we have the critical vendors that impacted the production and the invoices that were submitted late. About the technology and systems used. In this company, we can find 2 different systems when we talk about invoice processing. One of them is only used to process all the documents of each entity, and the other one is SAP, where we store all the documents integrated from the system mentioned before. To quantify this risk, we will analyze the number of integration errors. It's also important to mention that the period used to measure these variables was the data from the first quarter of 2024. In this company, the documents can be submitted by two different methods, by the supplier or manually by an outsourcing team. Independently of the submission method, all the fields need to be filled in by the user that is submitting the document. These fields can go from invoice date, number, PO, amount, and others. The human errors, as the name indicates, are the ones that are related with errors done by the different users. As this process is very manually, sometimes errors can happen. When this is the case, the process to solve them consists in basically reposting the same document, but doing the opposite accounting movement, and when this is approved and integrated in SAP, post it again correctly. And these documents are called the internal corrections. During the first quarter of 2024, about 30,000 invoices were submitted, but only 2% of them were in fact internal corrections. Although this seems to be not a very significant number, the overall process to do them is very time consuming because we need to assure that in terms of audit, all the documents are correctly posted. There are some suppliers that are designated as critical suppliers, and these are the ones that can impact the production of the company's products if anything goes wrong. But we cannot limit our attention to these ones because if errors are made frequently with some supplier, we can lose their confidence and as consequence the end of the contract. So we need to assure that the contract information is always updated as well as the supplier details like the VAT ID or the bank accounts. So from all the documents that were paid during this period, 25% of them arrived already due to the system. Due to this, all the process that is after the submission of the document is already delayed, impacting this way the payment date. As already mentioned, the documents can be submitted by two different methods. In the graph that is on the bottom left corner, we can see that the majority of the documents that were posted late were submitted manually, which can mean that the team doesn't have the enough capacity to do their job, or that the supplier is in fact sending the documents late to us. So to improve these numbers, we need to implement metrics and track them to identify the problematic areas and the overall performance of the team. Besides that, an automation in this part of the process would help to reduce the submission time of each of the documents. About the technology and systems variable, in here we analyze the number of integration errors per deployment. There are a lot of types of integration errors, and the solutions for the same error could be different depending on the type of the document. Observing this graph, we can see that the numbers of the first and the third deployments are very similar. However, the number of entities in each deployment is different. In the first, we are dealing with 16 entities, and on the third, we only have 2. So the number of integration errors per entity is higher on the third deployment. On the other hand, on the second deployment, we see that the number of integration errors is very different from the other 2. This happens because the number of entities as well as the number of documents processed is also higher. Saying this, we arrived to the results. And during the first quarter, we implemented some functions and controls to reduce the existing operational risks. The duplicate payment check, that was a new control that was developed because the transaction that was being used till the moment wasn't catching all the possible duplicated documents. And in this new control, we added more parameters in order to catch all of them. The paid on time report, as the name indicates, shows us the percentage of payments that were done within the due date. The blocked for payment function that allows us to ensure that a specific document integrates in SAP already blocked for payment. The multi-bank account selection, there is a new field that was introduced because sometimes the documents didn't go out for payment or were paid to the wrong bank account because we couldn't select the correct one when posting the document. And about the integration errors, we start to track them, to track all the documents that were not integrated in SAP in order to have more visibility of them, and this way give them more attention and solve these issues. As a result, we could reduce them and discovered some root causes preventing that error from happening again. Now, about the LCR that will be implemented now in November, as the submission process is very manual, this was developed in order to fill in certain fields automatically with the help of AI, in order to reduce the submission time of the documents. The leadership team has also implemented KPIs in the invoice processing team of the center, as well as in the outsourcing team that is responsible for submitting the documents. With this, the leadership has now a clear view about the efficiency of both teams. In the meantime, we have also introduced the daily stand-up meetings that are basically our 15-minute meetings every morning to help the team to organize their day and give them the opportunity to share their difficulties. To finalize, the dashboard in Power BI with all the important numbers. In here, we see the first draft of the dashboard, that it was not a very good dashboard because it was very poor in terms of information as well as in the view. And with the help of the continuous improvement team, we arrived to this one. And this is the dashboard at the moment. On the right side, you can see that now we have several tabs with different kinds of information about the numbers of the department updated to the day. And in here, we have the dashboard that we use in our daily stand-up meetings, where we can see the total number of documents pending to be treated in that day, as well as the different status and approval groups. With this in mind, we can conclude that the operational risks are directly linked to the financial ones, since all kinds of errors during the document processing can lead to late payments or even duplicated ones. With the use of KPIs, the leadership team can make more informed decisions and see which are the operations that really need their attention. About the Power BI dashboard, this offers a clear and user-friendly view of the data and can be adapted to the needs of each one of us. About the limitations, as this company is very, very recent, it's a bit difficult to analyze some of the data because we are constantly doing some changes in the system. I believe that as a complement to this work, it would be interesting to analyze the before and the after of the implementation of the project, because all the measures over a year, as well as in all of the regions that where this company works. Also, for future work, it would be interesting to analyze the operational risk of the other departments in a shared service center. Because although this type of company is already very present in Portugal, there are still not many studies about it, or even about the risks that are present in their operations. And I believe that that's it. I would like to thank to all of the people that helped me through this project, as well as to the professor for the support provided. Thank you.